Hi, my name's Jennifer Robson, and I'm doing this live Facebook post to expose the pie bar. My sister Leanne and I went to the harbor front on a lovely Sunday afternoon, and near the end of our day, I wanted to treat my sister to dinner. Well, I had never seen the pie bar before, and I said, "Oh, look, they're a pizzeria. Let's go in. Let's have some pizza." Well, we walked in there and nobody would acknowledge us, nobody would serve us. I had to run towards a waiter. I guess you call it flagging down, but I really physically moved towards one of the servers and said, "My sister and I would like to dine here today for dinner. How do we get a seat?" Well, the server and I mean, a bunch of them had passed us, but nobody acknowledged us. So the server asked us if we wanted to sit outside or inside. We said outside. And then he brought us outside and he made us stand on, like, near the steps, waiting for a table. Like, anybody with a brain would have had us sit inside with some water because it was a hot day, and he could have just had us wait inside and said, "We don't have a seat right now, but we'll have one shortly." So we stood there waiting, and then he showed us to our seats outside and gave us menus. Well, gave us, yeah, I guess we both had menus, and no water. And then he said a server would come over to us, and a server never did. Meanwhile, I'm watching all these other white people getting served, and I'm bringing up the racial tone because there was a black family that was just below us, on the lower level of outside on the patio, and they were being treated just as lousy as my sister and I. They had a stack of plates and fresh napkins. They were stacked on the side of their table. Nobody set them. It was like they expected the family to set their own places. No water. And my sister and I, we sat there waiting, and I looked down at that family and I said to my sister, "Are they just finishing or did they just get here?" But when I took another look at their napkins, and the plates, I said, "Those are fresh plates, clean plates, and fresh napkins, and nobody is serving them." And I looked at my sister. We were talking about the menu. It wasn't really the best variety of food. And I looked at her and we watched the family walk away. Nobody tried to stop them, nobody did anything about it. Meanwhile, we see the same waiter that said we would get a server serving drinks, serving food to everybody else. And we never got our server. And I said to my sister, "I don't think anyone is going to serve us." I said they didn't mind letting the black family leave. And I said maybe they have a problem with people who are of a darker skin tone. And I said to her, "Let's get out of here." And I was really angry. I was hungry. I was tired and disappointed. And I just couldn't get it out of my head. I thought, how come the other customers are more important? And I couldn't help but notice, but the majority of them were white. And I thought pretty much all their servers were white, which made me feel like there was another issue going on. So we got up, and I know I shouldn't have lost my temper, but I did. I turned around and I raised my voice and I said, "You're racist. You're racist. You don't serve black people." And I stormed off ahead of my sister, and I unfortunately I did give them the middle finger, and then I turned around again and I said, "You're racist. You don't serve black people." And yes, I did. I flipped the bird. And I don't normally do that, but I have no tolerance for racism and for people who can't be decent to people. They made my sister and I feel like like we weren't human beings. And I said to my sister, "I don't know what we're going to do." I said, "I'm really hungry. I know it's past 5 o'clock, probably getting on more like 6." So we hopped on the streetcar, and all we were looking for was a meal. And I started to think, don't they think we can afford it? It's pizza. So anyway, we took the streetcar to Union Station, and then there was a trespasser at track level, so that delayed things a bit. Then we managed to get to Bloor Station, and my sister and I looked at each other, and she said, "I don't really want to go home," and I said, "I don't either." I said, "I wanted to have dinner." So I said, "I know there's a Mexican place on Bloor and Yonge," and we went outside, but a lot of the restaurants had actually closed down, like they were no longer in existence. So she said, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "Well, there's a Jack Astor's. Let's go there and see how we're treated." So the moment we arrived, we were greeted with a smile. We were seated decently. They asked us what we wanted, indoors, outdoors. We said outside. They gave us good seats. They were very friendly. We got our meal. We got what we wanted, because originally what we wanted was nachos, and I ordered a beer. I don't go out a lot. I don't dine out a lot. I cook most of the time. I pack my lunch almost every day for work, and this was supposed to be a treat. So my sister and I just want to give a big 2 thumbs up to the people at Jack Astor's on Bloor and Yonge, because they know how to do it. And I gave them a good tip, and we had a great time. Like, they made the rest of our Sunday fantastic, because I was still bothered when I came home. Like, even though I had a good meal at Jack Astor's, I was very bothered by what occurred at the pie bar. And if anybody else has had that experience, and I just want to say I am so sorry for the family that was there waiting to be served and treated so shabbily, and anybody else that's gone into their establishment and been treated like garbage. Because initially when I saw how the waiters and waitresses were running around, I thought they're just really busy, but they seem to be not getting along very well, and it was chaos. But I also felt they were deliberately ignoring us. I mean, we were standing in the center of the restaurant, staring at them, waiting to be served. And the fact that nobody came back to us, and that they kept serving people who'd already been fed, I thought, okay, I guess we're not human enough to be served. So anyway, it's the Pie Bar, and it's on 207 Queens Quay West. And I understand I cannot control where people eat or dine with their friends and family, but I would like to ask my friends and family not to support this company, their restaurant. I understand it was one location. I don't know if there are others, but I don't like the way they treated myself or my sister, and I don't like the way they treated that other family. I don't like that they didn't even try to save the business. They just didn't seem to mind seeing people walk away. And I'm not excusing my behavior. We all make mistakes in terms of sometimes losing our temper. However, I will not tolerate racism. And everybody deserves to be able to go out once in a while and treat themselves if they can afford it, and have a decent meal and be treated with respect. So that's all I want to say. And if the manager or CEO of the Pie Bar is watching this, then I would like an apology, and I would like you to retrain your staff so that they learn how to greet, seat, and serve their customers properly, and treat everybody equally. It doesn't matter what they look like, what they're wearing, that you treat them humanely. Thank you.